All right, everybody, welcome back. We all spend so much time thinking about it, right? Like finding the one, that soulmate, that perfect match.
Yeah, it's definitely something that comes up a lot, this idea of soulmates. Do they actually exist, or are we setting ourselves up for, some impossible expectation?
Well, good news. We found this awesome podcast, Love Unfiltered, and they did a whole deep dive on soulmates.
Yeah, they really did. And they went into some pretty interesting perspectives, too, from both sides. So the whole, cosmic connection idea, and also the idea that love's more about, compatibility and the work you put in.
Okay, so what was their take? Was it all about finding that one person who just, completes you?
Well, Jake and Emily, the hosts, they kind of flipped the script. They talked about attachment theory and how our childhood experiences, especially early ones, can totally shape how we approach relationships.
So maybe when we're looking for a soulmate, we're kind of trying to recreate a feeling from childhood. That's really interesting.
Yeah, and it gets even deeper. They talked about how sometimes people mistake the honeymoon phase of a relationship, all the butterflies and excitement, for, true love.
Right, like that initial spark is everything.
But the thing is, it fades, right? And that's where the real work begins. Enduring love the kind that lasts means going through tough times together, being vulnerable, accepting each other's, flaws and all.
Accepting their flaws. That makes total sense.
It's about sticking around when things aren't always, sunshine and roses.
I think we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
Where the excitement dies down and we wonder if it's even worth it. But this idea of pushing past that, seeing what happens when you really commit, I like that.
Yeah, totally. And actually, they had a listener call in, Sarah, and she asked this question, and I think it's something we've probably all wondered. How do you know if someone is really right for you?
Ooh, good question, Sarah. What did they say?
Well, they said the first thing is to really pay attention to your gut feeling. Do you feel safe, respected? Do you actually enjoy being around this person, even when you're, just doing everyday stuff?
Okay, safety and respect first. That makes sense. What else?
Shared values, that came up a lot.
Yeah.
Are you on the same page about the big stuff, family, goals, ethics, all that?
Yeah, if you're constantly clashing on those fundamental things, that's probably not going to work long term.
Exactly. And they were really clear that, disagreements are normal. Everyone has them. But if it's constant conflict, or if you feel like you're, walking on eggshells all the time, that's a huge red flag.
So love shouldn't feel like a battle.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's a big part of what they were getting at with the whole soulmate thing. Maybe it's not so much about finding the one perfect person, but about becoming the best version of ourselves so we can actually build a healthy relationship.
I love that. So it's more about personal growth than finding that missing puzzle piece.
Yeah, exactly. It's about shifting the focus. Instead of waiting for our soulmate to just magically appear, we should focus on being the kind of partner we'd want to meet.
Makes sense.
And they even tied this into self-love. They said you can't pour from an empty cup, So taking care of yourself, your own emotional well-being, that allows you to actually be present and give more in a relationship.
Wow. So many great takeaways from Love Unfiltered.
Mm-hmm.
This has been an awesome deep dive.
Absolutely.
And for all of you out there searching for love, maybe the question isn't, is there only one?
Mm-hmm.
But rather, am I ready to be the best version of myself to actually attract and build a healthy connection? Something to think about, right?
Definitely.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening.